Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the player ratings for Everton 1, Brighton and Hove, Albion 0. Yeah. One of those games at Goodison Park. One of those games that you win 2-0. You're like, that's exactly what you want. Job done. It was just one of those games because the second goal never come. Just made it a little bit nervy. And it's one of those games that when you're in the ground, it's a lot more nervy. When you get to look at it after and have a think about it, you're like, it wasn't that bad, was it? Brighton had a couple of chances late on that, made it feel like a little bit nervy. They hit the crossbar, didn't they? And John Pickford had to make a good save, and then they've had one put wide as well. But on the balance of play, we've had a lot of good chances. Dom's had a couple. Charlison's had one. We should have had a penalty. We had one disallowed, probably correctly. At the time, I didn't really celebrate it because I just had a feeling in the current climate, if something hits anyone's arm, it's not going to be a goal. That's the rule now. We know that. So, and it's just about putting those games to bed a little bit earlier. I think if we get a second early on, I don't know, early on the second half, or even going a half time 2-0, that's a game we can go on. It's just at the moment we're just this is just where we are. And that's what we've got to learn to do. We've got to learn to kill these games off. But you know what? It's 3 wins out of 4 games for Carlo Ancelotti. Only 1 defeat in the Premier League since the other debacle at Anfield. So it's not been too bad. And hopefully, performances will come. As I heard Tom Davis talking after the game, and he was saying it was the first week they've had really to really sit down and do some work on the training field. So from that point of view, it's going to take time. These are the same players. And we know it's not a case of just putting the effort in. That only works for 3-4 games, just putting a little bit extra effort in. It's about everything else. So it's a good 3 points. And as I said, it's a case of now, week by week, hopefully watching us improve, hopefully be a little bit more confident, hopefully getting a few better patterns of play and systems and all that kind of thing, because that's what it'll come down to as well. We've seen with the subs today, I'm watching when the subs, I'm scratching my head trying to work out what they're trying to do. Carlo Ancelotti knows what he thinks those subs are going to do because he's probably used them loads of different times. But I just looked at our players and I wasn't quite sure they fully understood. Those things will take time, but you can't. If you're the manager, you've got to do what you think is best. And that was the same with the lineup today. A lot of people looked at the lineup and no Mina and Sigurdsson's still in there, and he's the captain. And got to just trust the manager now and say, well, would there have been wholesale changes today? No, because the squad doesn't really allow that. We know who's a first teamer or who's... We've got like 13, 14 players, haven't we, really, at the moment? So you've just got to trust the manager. And that's what's got to be the number one thing now going forward is forget about who's playing. The manager will trust the manager to make decisions about who's playing and how they're playing. And if we do that, then we're not letting the players get away with it, if that makes sense. Beforehand, I think we've not liked players, and then the manager picks them, and then we put probably all, and it's all of us, I put all my hands up, and then we put the blame on the manager. Whereas now, let's trust the manager and flip that and say, well, if the manager's picking them, he obviously thinks that this is the best system or the best team and how it's going to work. And I think that's the only way we can go. Put all the faith now in the manager, and hopefully good things will happen, especially if he gets players back and gets new players in. Because as much as we all want to grow and we all look at the team, if you could get maybe 2 or 3 good players, solid players through the middle of the park, down that spine, we'd be competing for the top 6 because the Premier League isn't that strong. All right, listen, top 4 mightn't be anywhere on the horizon at the moment, but you've got to aim for that first one and then develop your team to kick on to the next one. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, let's get back to the player ratings. Jordan Pickford, I've given him a 7. Made one really good save in the second half from, I think it was from Glenn Murray. And I was right behind it, and it did. I haven't seen the replay of it, but it did. Excuse me. It did look like a really good save. So, everything else, at times in the second half got a little bit. His kicking was going straight down, but the wind was a big factor today. So I've given him a 7. Didible Sidibe, I've given him a 6. Only because defending is not what this kid does. He is an attacking fullback, and I think today he just left himself a little bit open. The one that they hit the bar from, I thought he should have done a lot better. And there's one in the first half where they're shaping up to cross, and he's just basically standing there and allowing them to cross. And I think he's got to start doing a little bit more when he's played right back at times defensively. Because you know what? If we had a centre midfield there, like we did when we had Garner, who can get round the pitch and close those people off, I think we'd see more of him. But when he's at times is left isolated, I think it's harder for him. And obviously we brought Coleman on and tried to push him up a little bit, but defensively wasn't great today. On the other side, Luca Dean, I've given him a 7. Attacking wise, I thought he was good today. Put a couple of really good balls into the box. I think he got the assist, didn't he, for Richarlison's goal, and I think he's equalled his assist for last season now. Yeah, I just thought all round he had a better game, and obviously with Bernard on that side as well, I just thought he had a better game, so I've given him a 7. The two centre backs, Michael Keane first. I'm going to give him a 6.5. I'm also going to give Mason Holgate a 6.5. Michael Keane, a little bit iffy early on with his kicking at times. But defensively was okay. He was okay. Dealt with a lot. Sometimes his passing was really good, and sometimes it was horrendous. Again, it's that confidence. But far too many times, they played a simple ball over the top, and it just seemed to expose us. Mason Holgate, I thought, again, listen, I think the wind was a big factor. I thought he defended quite well. I just thought there was times that we were a little bit open at the back, and obviously we literally changed the whole back four, or wherever it went to late on, to try and shore it up, but we still left ourselves exposed at the back. So I've given them both a 6.5. Into midfield, Gylfi Sigurdsson, I've given a 6. I thought what he did today, which was better than what he did on Sunday, is he came and tried to take the ball off the centre-backs. It didn't always work, but he did that better. I thought he got caught in possession a couple of times, but at least tried to win the ball back. Again, probably still too slow for that position. But, yeah, a 6. Tom Davies, I've given a 6 as well. I thought for all the good things he did, again, he undermined it by making poor decisions and giving the ball away at times where we really needed to keep the ball late on. And this is something that it does bug me about Tom, and I really feel like he should have it out of his game by now. But he still seems to have... You've got to be brave, listen, and I applaud him for his bravery, and he's always on the front foot. I just think there's certain times in the game where he's got to manage it better. I thought what he did do well today was his close control was a lot better, and he took players on, and he tried to get us moving forward. I just think there's times in the game where his game management lets him down, and he doesn't realise the pressure he's under, and if he gets caught, what the implications can be. And I just think at times he should get a simple ball, get it back and move on. But I thought he was a lot more mobile than the likes of Snidland. So I've given him a 6 anyway. Theo Walcott, I've given a 6 as well. Probably should have had a penalty early on. He's always a good out ball. I just don't think... I always think he struggles when he's got... I mean, he's always generally got a full back behind him that wants to get forward. But there's times when, because Siribi goes so high, I don't think he knows or understands where to run for the best to open up the space. So I've given him a 6. Bernard, I give it 8. I thought Bernard was excellent today. I thought he really was. I thought he was the only one, certainly in the first half, who was breaking the lines, who was getting the ball and running at them and making opportunities. And what he needs then is people ahead of him moving and opening up space for him, either for him to continue into it or for them to get the ball off him. It's going to take time, I think, because this is something he hasn't naturally done at Everton. He's more stayed wide and worked more with Dean. But I think it looks already like Carlo Ancelotti wants him to be the playmaker in the team, coming off the left. And I think that suits him. I think he's got, when he's running with the ball, he's got that little extra gear. And it's just using that to our advantage. I was very surprised he went off, I must admit. Because I did think he could be the genuine difference for opening up. He did one in the second half where he was so close to the touchline and managed to get ahead of their defender and pull it back in almost like the same movement. I just thought he was brilliant today, and that's what we need to see more of him. I think that's the position that he should be playing in. So I've given him an 8. Richarlison, I've given 8 as well, mostly because of his goal. His goal is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He just tiptoes around the box and then bends it into the corner, all in, a few strides. It's fantastic, honestly, fantastic. This goal was brilliant. I like the idea of him as well, dropping in behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin and picking up the ball and opening that space. I think he does that really well. It's almost like he's in a free roll, but it suits him, I think. It suits him and Dom to play in this system where it's a split strike and he drops in. And I think we've seen that today. And I think the more we work on that, I think those two can be a really effective partnership. One's like the silk and one's like the steel. So I've given him an 8. I thought he played really, really well and always grasped for the team. Probably should have had another goal. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I've given Dom a 6, just because he didn't take possibly the chances today. Works hard, of course. But I just thought the one in the second half, one the keeper saved, it was a brilliant run as well. He'd done everything right. If he could have just finished it off, it would have been a brilliant goal. But he didn't finish it off. The one he scores is disallowed. I don't know if there's anything else he could have done. He's just trying to get something on the ball to put it in. And it's just his arm gets there first before his head does. But he's just trying to get something on the ball. And it's good that he's there. It's just the way it is now. Last season he would have got away with that. This season he doesn't. I think he had a couple of opportunities he probably should have scored from. But I do like that partnership, and it's working hard. It doesn't always work the way we want it to, but I think that he's working hard. So I've given him a 6. 6.5. 6.5 I'll give him. 6.5. I think he should have scored, though, today. I really do. I think he should have scored. And I want him to score. I want him to score every game, him and Richarlison. The subs, Seamus Coleman a 6. Went into that right side, the centre-back position. Did all right. Did okay. Give him a 6. Delph, 5.5. Didn't really do anything when he come on. I've given Mina a 6 as well. I found the subs. What the problem with the subs were for me is I just thought we lost our midfield. We basically went to having like 6 in midfield, and I just think the players didn't quite understand how to use the shape, and I can see why. I'll be honest, I don't really understand the subs. I just don't understand the subs. But most important thing is Carlo Ancelotti does understand the subs, and the players need to understand the subs. It was just weird that we had 2 right backs on the pitch and we didn't have a left back. But anyway, listen, I'm not a football genius. I'm sure someone will explain it to me. I just thought it lost us the midfield, when I still thought we could get more out the game. We were probably just trying to play in the counter-attack, and the midfielders who were supposed to be in there probably lost their shape rather than the defenders, and it just meant that Brighton seemed to be picking the ball up higher up and then being able to get balls over the top, which they nearly scored from. That's something for the players to work on. That's all I can say. The manager obviously knew what he wanted, and the players didn't quite know how to interpret it. But it's done now. We learned from it. We won the game. We're on 28 points, 6 points off the European places, and we'll see what happens. Every week, we should be looking to pick up 3 points now for the next few weeks. Well, every game we should be, and we'll see where we end up and look up rather than down. That's what 3 out of 4 for Carlo Ancelotti in the Premier League is not bad at all. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to check out all the other videos. Give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want more great videos, join us over on Patreon. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching. See you later.